Friends, welcome to Biology Made Easy. Today in this video, we'll discuss the fruit and seed. In earlier videos, we have discussed about the different types of inflorescence, then flower, and then the different parts of the flower. But the final product of the flower is only fruit and seed because they are made for propagation and multiplication of the plants. So, what is the fruit? Fruit is the mature fertilized ovary. Fruit is a mature fertilized ovary. So when the ovary is fertilized and it becomes mature, it gives rise to fruit. But sometimes without fertilization also the ovary gives rise to fruit. That is known as a parthenocarpy. Parthenocarpy. That means a fruit formation without fertilization. And the common example is banana. So usually where parthenocarpy fruits are present, they are usually seedless. And when the ovary is fertilized and matured, it gives rise to fruit. But sometimes in addition to the ovary, some other parts also take in the formation of the fruit. So they are known as false fruits. False fruits. That means besides ovary, other parts of the flower take part in fruit formation. So here the common examples are, usually one example is strawberry, then apple, and also cashew nut. These are examples, these are false fruits, because here the thalamus takes part in the formation of the fruit. The edible part of apple, that is the thalamus. So these are the different types of fruits. Now if you take when the ovary is converted to the fruit, the wall of the ovary is converted to pericarp. The pericarp may be dry or it may be fleshy. That means the ovary wall is converted to the pericarp of fruit. Now the pericarp may be dry or it may be fleshy and thick. But this is dry and thin. So when it is fleshy and thick, again it is divided into three parts. The outer part is known as epicarp, the middle part is mesocarp, and the inner part is known as endocarp. Now if we will take one or two examples. Suppose let us take the example of mango. In a mango, what happens? The outer covering, there is one outer covering. Then within this outer covering, which may be yellow color or when it is unripe and it is green in color, then within it, this part is endocarp and the middle part, this middle part, this part is known as mesocarp. So this is the epicarp, this is the mesocarp, and this is the endocarp. So when we eat this mango, this green epicarp part that we remove either in the unripened mango or in the ripened mango. And this middle part, which is endocarp, that is very hard, and that also is not edible. Only the mesocarp, which is the pulp of the mango fruit, that is edible. That we say the mesocarp of this fruit mango is edible, and this mango is a drupe type of fruit. Now, if I will take the second example, that is the coconut. Coconut is also a drupe. But in case of coconut, if we will take the example of green coconut, in a green coconut, the outer layer is green. This is known as epicarp. Then there is a very hard shell. There is a hard shell. This is known as endocarp. And in between these two, there are some fiber-like structures. There are fibers, and the fibers, they are the mesocarp. So here you see the epicarp is not clearly seen in case of ripened coconut, but in case of green coconut, the outer green covering is the epicarp. Then below that epicarp, there are some fibrous structures are there. This is a mesocarp. This is the mesocarp. Mesocarp. This is not edible. This is used for this making the ropes and sacks. While the endocarp, there is the hard shell that we break it. It is very hard. Then which is the edible part? The edible part is here the endosperm. That means within this hard shell, there is some white part. This white part, this is known as endosperm, and this is filled with water. This is filled with water. This is also part of endosperm. This is we can call it coconut water or coconut milk. And this part is edible, so which is endosperm. So you see, both mango and coconuts are drupes, but the edible parts are different. In case of coconut, the endosperm present below the endocarp is edible, but here in case of mango, the mesocarp is edible. So these are some of the examples of the fruits. Then within the fruit, there is a seed. So what is the definition of seed? Seed is usually a matured fertilized ovule. Seed is a matured fertilized ovule. That means after fertilization, the ovary is converted to the fruit, and within the ovary there may be 1, 2 or several ovules, and these ovules are converted to seeds. That is why the seeds are mature fertilized ovules. So what are the different parts of this seed? If we will give it a schematic representation, then the seed has two parts. It has a seed coat, and the remaining part is known as kernel. Now the seed coat is again divided into testa. This is the outer part, and tegmen. This is the inner part. That means the seed coat has two layers. The outer is testa and the inner is tegmen. Now this kernel, the kernel is again divided into embryo and endosperm. Now the embryo is again divided into axis and cotyledon. Now the axil is again divided into plumule and radicle. After when the seed germinates, the plumule it gives rise to the shoot system, while the radicle gives rise to the root system. Now the remaining part is known as cotyledon. The cotyledon may be thin. It may be thin or it may be thick. When it is thick, when it stores food. So in that case, this is known as exalbuminous. Exalbuminous. Similarly, the endosperm may be thin or thick. Endosperm may be thin or thick. When it is thick, that means stored food materials. So it is known as albuminous. Albuminous or endospermic. This is albuminous or endospermic, that is exalbuminous, or we can write non-endospermic. Non-endospermic. So these are the different parts of a seed, whether it is a monocot seed or a dicot seed. Usually, the endosperm is thick and albuminous or endospermic. This is the commonly found in case of monocots. Most of the monocot seeds are albuminous or endospermic, while the non-endospermic or exalbuminous, this is commonly found in most of the dicots. Now let us explain the whole thing in the form of diagrams. So let us now discuss the structure of seeds. First, the dicot seed. So the dicot seed, it has a structure like this. This is the diagram of one the gram seed, and here one scar mark is there with a hole. So this scar mark, this is known as hilum, and the opening is known as micropyle. Micropyle through which it absorbs water during germination, and this is known as seed coat. Now if you take a section of it, then it will look like this. There will be two cotyledons. There will be two cotyledons, and at the center there is axis, and the axis has the plumule, which will give rise to the shoot system, and this is the radicle that will give rise to the root system, and these are the cotyledons. So in case of dicot, the food materials are stored in the cotyledons. That means the dicots are, therefore these are the exalbuminous type of seeds. Exalbuminous or non-endospermic. Non-endospermic seeds. But in case of monocot seeds, usually monocot seeds are albuminous or endospermic, except some seeds like that of the orchids. Orchids are non-endospermic. Otherwise, all others, they are all monocot seeds are usually albuminous or endospermic. So if we draw the diagram, then that of the seed, this is the outer seed coat, then there will be and here there is one. So this is the axis and this is the endosperm. That means the endosperm is quite well developed. Now if you draw it in a longitudinal section, how it is looking like, you see. So this layer separates the cotyledon and axis part from the endosperm. This is known as epithelial layer. Epithelial layer. Then this portion is the aleurone layer, which is a part of the endosperm, and it is a proteinaceous layer. This is the aleurone layer. Aleurone layer, a proteinaceous layer that surrounds the endosperm. Then the cotyledon is very much reduced and is known as scutellum. So this part, this is known as scutellum, and this is the reduced cotyledon, and it is single, only one is there, as is seen in case of maize and all cereals, rice, wheat, all those things. Now in the axis part we'll find the plumule and radicle are there, and they are protected by coleoptile and coleorhiza respectively. So how it's done, you see. This is the plumule and this is the radicle. So this is plumule and this is the radicle, and the plumule is protected. The plumule is protected by coleoptile, while the radicle is protected by coleorhiza. So this is coleoptile, and this is the radicle is protected by coleorhiza. So this is the diagram of the dicot sheet and monocot sheet, and this is the endosperm. This is endosperm. So here the endosperm contains the food materials that is provided during germination. So since endosperm is quite prominent here and the cotyledon is reduced, this is known as albuminous sheet or endospermic, except the case of orchids where it is non-endospermic. And in all dicot sheets, the dicot sheets are usually exaluminous, because here the food is not stored in endosperm, that is stored in the cotyledons. So that is non-endospermic or albuminous, exaluminous. Now let us discuss questions. So one of the question we can write, the edible part of coconut is A choice epicarp, B choice mesocarp, C choice endocarp, and D choice endosperm. This is one question. Then the second question you can take in maize, or you can write maize. Maize is A choice exalbuminous, B choice non-endospermic, C choice, albuminous, and D choice, none of the above. So you will be able to answer both the questions. We have discussed all those things, and these are the type of questions which are usually asked in all national type of examinations like Neet. So thank you very much for watching the video. God bless you. Have a good day.